I have this beautiful fabric here and my pattern. All I have to do is cut out my fabrics and start sewing. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie and I make videos about sewing, and today, because summer has finally arrived, I am making a swimsuit. Swimwear can be a little bit daunting and scary, but I promise you it's absolutely doable. I will take you along in the making process, and maybe I can just share some tips and tricks with you, so if you are wanting to start sewing swimwear, you kind of have a little bit of a basis and you know what to expect. Anyway, enough rambling, let's go. Using my rotary cutter and cutting mat to cut out my fabrics. For me, this is just the easiest way to cut out delicate or slippery fabrics such as lycra, especially when the pattern pieces are so small. And yes, I should definitely be using pattern weights or pinning down the pattern to my fabric instead of just using random stuff, but I'm a bit lazy and this is what I choose to do instead. Then moving on to the lining fabric, I'm just putting my main fabric pieces on top of my lining fabric. This is just a white lycra, no fancy lining fabric or anything, and I'm tracing around with my rotary cutter to get a close match of my lining to my main fabric pieces. Alright, I'm all set. My pattern pieces are all cut out. That took quite a while because I want to be super precise and the fabric is obviously a little bit slippery, so it does take a bit longer, but I think it does pay off to really take your time with it, especially if you're working with a lining. You want the lining and the main fabric to be really exact. So now I'm going to go to my overlocker, change my threads because it's still set in black thread, and get sewing. Alright, so I have finished the lining. I haven't done any of the elastic yet, that's for after everything is sewn together. Now I'm headed into the main fabric, which is always just a bit more exciting, isn't it? I did first do the lining because I wanted to figure out the settings on my machine a bit, which I'm happy about because some of the seams are a little bit less perfect, but still good enough. You'll see that I use clips instead of pins. I use these guys. I do this because one, it's a bit faster, and two, this lycra is a little bit delicate and I don't want to make little holes in the fabric, so I want to avoid that, so that's why I'm clipping it all together instead of pinning. And the added bonus is that it's much faster. Overlocker has the benefit of having a differential feed. I don't know all the technical things about it, but that means that your fabric glides through much more evenly than if you were to do it with a normal sewing machine. I have made swimwear with a normal sewing machine before and it did work, so you don't have to have an overlocker for doing it. Looking cute. Moving on to the top. So I have here my main fabric and my lining. My main fabric is right sides out and the lining fabric has the wrong side out. The plan is now to take my lining and put it inside, which means that the raw edges will be on the inside in between the main fabric and the lining. Alright, so I've pinned it so you can kind of see. I'm going to overlock all the edges so that afterwards it's easier to put in the elastic. Some people choose not to overlock before adding the elastic and they just go in straight away with the elastic. I prefer not doing that because I find swimwear fabric to be quite slippery in general, and I want the two layers to be nice and secure before adding the elastic, which in and of itself is already quite a technical challenge. So that's why I choose to first overlock and then the elastic. Alright, so I have overlocked all the seams of the top and of the bottoms. It's starting to look like swimwear. And the next step is to add the elastic in the neckline, in the armholes, on the leg opening. I'm using swimwear elastic. You use this kind of elastic because it's much more resistant to sunlight and chlorine and seawater and things like that. It feels very rubbery, not very pleasant on the skin or anything. So when you sew this into swimwear, you usually encase it so that it doesn't get in contact with your skin. This is very much a trial and error type of skill, so you kind of have to try it a few times. I always try it on a scrap piece of fabric first. Anyway, so I will do that now. I'm putting away my serger for this because I much prefer adding the elastic with my sewing machine. I find that I have a bit more control with my sewing machine compared to my overlocker to get like into the nooks and crannies. And the second reason is that I don't want to add extra bulk with another serged seam. First I pin the elastic all the way around, and then it's time to start stitching. I use a super stretch stitch on my machine. It's like a special zigzag stitch. My machine is super old, so I'm sure your machine will have something similar. So I quickly wanted to show you this. I've been putting in the elastic on the leg opening and there's this weird bend here. And I think it's because I stretched the fabric as I was sewing, which you're not really supposed to do. You're supposed to stretch the elastic, but not the fabric. And if you do, the fabric gets a bit wonky. So I'm going to unpick this and redo it so that the fabric lies nice and flat. I've been sewing away, adding the elastic. Let me show you what it looks like now. Alright, this is what I've got so far. This is the top of the bikini, this is the back, and this is the front. You can see here that I've been sewing with a super stretch on my sewing machine, so nothing too fancy. And then the next step will be to fold this over and top stitch. You want to fold this over because the elastic is rubber, it kind of grips the skin. So you want this to be folded over so the elastic is fully enclosed in the nice fabric. That's the next step for me. I'm still debating which thread to use because my fabric has a lot of different colors in it, so I'm not sure which color to use just yet. kept up using a beigey, creamy colored elastic because I found that it was a little bit more subtle. I'm struggling a little bit to get this all through my machine because it's quite a lot of layers and I found that the fabric was bunching up every now and again. So I had to guide it quite well under my machine. My machine is also quite old, so that might definitely be part of it. But in the end, it looks pretty nice. Meanwhile, Mr. Taupe had made a delicious lemon cake. Alright, the summer collection is done. Let me recap a little bit my thoughts on what I've made. So this is the first thing that I've made. It's the Megan Nielsen bikini. These are the bottoms and then this is the top. It's very sporty, it kind of just looks like a sports bra. The back is really nice because it's quite low. I do like this shape a lot. This will definitely hold everything in place, but it's a little bit tight. I'm thinking of actually just making the same one if I have enough leftover fabric, just a size bigger. This pattern has a lot of options. It has a full swimsuit with different ties, different bikini options, like you really get a lot of options with it. I also made a second top, which is this one. It's the Alley top from Edgewater Avenue. You can really tell that they're specialized in swimwear. They have all the options. It's very trendy, very how do I say this? The Alley top is a pattern with a knot in the front and triangle cups. I have hacked it to have a tie halter neck and a tie back. I also added some swimwear cups. It gives a bit more shape. In contrast with the other top, it's a bit more feminine and I think they complement each other quite well in this little collection. I didn't find it very easy to find patterns. The Megan Nielsen one is one that is well loved and well documented on Instagram, so I knew that I was interested in that one. But I was looking for other patterns and I couldn't really find many things that I liked. So if you have pattern recommendations, do send them my way on here or on Instagram. I'm really interested in like branching out and see if I can find other swimwear patterns. I always find it super empowering to sew swimwear. It makes me very happy whenever I get to make things that scare me a little bit and then they turn out okay, and that's even better. Maybe that can be inspiration for you to also go out and make something that scares you. Maybe you can go and make some nice swimwear and expand your horizons. If you do, let me know. I'm super interested in seeing it. And other than that, I think I've rambled on long enough. You can always subscribe if you don't want to miss any of the videos. I hope to see you again on here sometime soon. Have a lovely summer if you are in this hemisphere. Don't forget to put on sunscreen and I'll see you very soon. Bye!